So here's my first home-built foam RC plane. Really wanted to do something with twin motors, although it doesn't need it. I'm about 200 watts per pound now, I believe. Probably a little more than that. They're 930 kV motors. Mystery motors. I bought a ton of these motors and I paid 24 bucks for both motors with the ESCs, with shipping. And never had an issue with them, minus bending prop shaft, but that's my own fault. And if you do bend a prop shaft, you can use the Traxxas axle shafts. Will fit right in there, and they're available at the hobby store. The wing was cut using a hot wire cutter I had built. It's hanging right there. First time I've ever done that, so this wing came out excellent for the most part. This wing I had a little bit trouble with, but it's got a profile on it and it'll fly. It's a Clark Y wing. Here it is, printed off a line off of airfoils.com, I believe it is, and that's stretched out to 10 inches, cut out, traced, and cut on a piece of wood. Followed all the ratios for as far as wing area goes, with elevator, horizontal stab, vertical stab. Got my receiver mounted here. I'm going to have two batteries running this. One on this side, this hole goes right through. One mounted on this side. Everything is positioned as best I could in the first third of the wing for CG. These motors are on homemade motor mounts I built out of some 1/4-inch plywood. And hot glue is your best friend when you're working with a foam airplane, I can tell you that. Had to extend the... Well, let's go back here to the elevator, horizontal and vertical stabilizer. So, my vertical stabilizer is made out of foam. I didn't have the balsa at the time, so I tried it out of foam. Ended up being a little bit thicker than I would have liked it to, and the shape and the way the rudder worked out, I don't really care for it, but I was already too far into it to change it. But I did get the balsa, and I built the horizontal stabilizer out of balsa. And I used these Dubro hinges, and they're Gorilla super glued on, as well as these are hot glued into the foam, these hinges. Same with the ailerons, recessed so they're flush into the foam and hot glued. The body of the plane was cut out of two 1-inch pieces of, this is all polystyrene foam insulation you can buy at any Home Depot or Lowe's. The blue is different because I bought it at a local hardware store. Same stuff, different company. The blue stuff I bought because I had tried doing the wings out of doubled up 1-inch, and the hot wire kept getting stuck in the glue and it wouldn't move, and it would end up doing this to the wing. And getting stuck. So I cut it out of one. I went and got 2-inch foam and cut it out, and I didn't have that issue. I don't know what happened here. I think it sat here too long or whatever, but the fuselage was just traced freehand and cut out. I knew about what I wanted for a size of the plane, so I cut that out first, and then I cut the wing accordingly. So here, I don't have my aileron servos in yet. I'm still waiting for them to come in, but I have my horn set up. This one's got a link on it. Landing gear bent out of some wire I got from the hardware store. It's pretty tough stuff. I have drilled holes in here. It goes in here and through here. And because I have a piece of wood here and here, that will prevent it from having any kind of leverage to rip out. So that's the purpose of the two of them. This one prevents it from going this way, and this one prevents it from pulling side to side. These are 3-inch wheels. I think they're about $6 a set. Held on with some nitro fuel tube. You can see the bottom of the motor mount there. It goes into the wing. I recessed the wiring. I'm going to finish the wings with lightweight spackle to clean them up and sand them in paint, but I want to make sure it flies first. I'm sure it will because it's built correctly, but here we come back here. I mounted my servos in back. Not sure how that's going to work with CG. I'm going to retest it once I get the aileron servos in. I might have to add a little bit of weight to the front, but we'll see. Got a rear gear set on here. I had to rebend the offset here to get it to work, but that's also hot glued on. And the horn is also super glued, Gorilla super glued onto the gear set. And my servos are also recessed into the foam. So everything works. It's got a ton of power. It'll take off vertical right out of my hand if I wanted it to. So it should come off the ground half power, if not less. Wings removable. And it feels heavy, but it's only weighing in at 2 pounds, which may be a lot for a foamy. I mean, the Super Cub up there weighs a fraction of that. It's a much wider wing than the Super Cub wing. Much wider wing. Much bigger ailerons. And hopefully it doesn't need a ton of trimming to fly good. We're going to get off the ground a few feet and see how she does. These speed controllers, I know everybody says not to buy these things and these cheap motors, but I can tell you that I have bought a ton of these motors. I have one on the Super Cub up there, and I've never had a problem with them. The one on the Super Cub is oh, I'm sorry, these are 1000 kV, not 930s. 1000 kV, 13 turn motors. If I can get it to focus here, sorry. They're A2212 13T 1000 kV. That's an A2212 as well on the Super Cub, except that's a 930 kV. I said in the beginning of the video that they were 930s. They're actually 1000 kV motors. And I am running... I'm sorry about the focusing. I'm running two 11.1 volt 3 cell 1500 milliampere hour lipos. These batteries on eBay, I think they were 13 or 14 bucks with free shipping for 2 of them. And you know what? I've charged them quite a few times and discharged them, and I haven't had a problem. Mainly probably because I use this LiPro IMAX B6 charger. I put them into storage every time they get done. That probably saves their life, but next video I post will be of it flying, so wish me luck. If you have any questions, post a comment.